Hello, sports fans, and welcome. Welcome to episode 209 of the Guru Talking Sports podcast. I am your host, the Guru of Sports. Well, like I said, hey, look, this is March. The madness has already begun. So I'm going to give you some teams, some conferences, and some teams that I think is going to go down and how many teams are going to win this, how many teams are going to get in this. And, I'm going to say my prediction for next Sunday because next Sunday is Selection Sunday. And I'm definitely going to, make a prediction right then and there for that next Sunday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the bigger conferences. Now, I'm not going to go through the Big Sky, the Southland, and all the other, major small college conferences, because what I want to do is make sure you get the big ones. And I'm going to tell you who I think is going to win that conference and how many teams they're going to get in. Okay. So the first one I'm going to go to is the Big East. Big East should have 5 teams in. We all know that UConn is going to win the whole thing. So, I ain't meant to say that, but anyway, UConn is probably going to win the whole thing. So, they can go back to back for the first time since Florida did it back in the 90s or early 2000s or so. Anyway, you got UConn is going to get in, and they'll probably bring 5 other teams with them. Okay, Pac-12. I'm going to say the Pac-12 right now because I just watched Arizona beat or lose to USC, and Bronny James. He didn't look too bad. But still, Arizona is still the best team in that conference. And they'll probably get 5 teams in or so. I see everybody except for UCLA. UCLA has had a really hard season. I don't think they're going to make it. All right, SEC, I see Tennessee winning. They're already the outright champs. So they're going to go and play the tournament. And I think what they're going to do, Tennessee will probably win that. But, they got a lot of tough teams in there. But I think Tennessee should win that conference, the conference tournament, and bring along 7 teams with them. Okay, the AAC. Now, South Florida is really good. I watched a little bit of them. And, South Florida is, I wanted to say that they're not being investigated, but Temple is being investigated because there might be a little bit of a scandal going on with Temple basketball. And that's really, really disturbing because I like Temple basketball. I've always liked Temple. And, like I said, Philadelphia fans think I'm a hater. I'm not a hater. Look, I like the local teams. Philadelphia, got some great teams there. Villanova has been really, really spectacular. Temple, St. Joe's, Drexel, any of the smaller teams, teams here in the Philadelphia area. I even root for Delaware, even though they're probably not going to make the tournament this year. I mean, they might make the NIT. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, South Florida is the best team in there. I think they're going to only get 4 teams in there. Okay, the Atlantic 10, Richmond Spiders has been really, really good all season, and I think that they're probably going to get 4 teams in as well. Now, let's go to the ACC. ACC is probably going to get 6 teams in, and I think, North Carolina is the best team in that division. And I'm not sure, but I think Syracuse might not make it. But Syracuse has had a pretty big season, but, I don't know. If this is the first season they had without Jim Boeheim, so we'll see what happens there. All right, the Big 12, Houston. Houston is dominant, very, very dominant, the number 1 team in the country right now. And like I said, I've seen Houston, seen them play, and believe me, I really think, now listen to this. I think that Big 12 is probably going to get 9 teams in. 9 teams, yes. They are that deep and that good. Most of these teams in the Big 12 are really, really good. You got Baylor, you got Kentucky, you got, you got Baylor, you got Kansas, some of these teams are going to probably be moving, like all this, mess goes on or whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised if they got anywhere from 6 to 9 teams in. Okay. All right. So you got the Big South. Now I'm going to go with one of those little conferences. The Big South is a pretty good one because the favorite there lost, and Longwood, they should probably get 2 teams in the tournament. Like I said, Longwood beat the champs, or I think they did win that title right out. I have to double check and see. But anyway, I think that Longwood should be in, and they should be two other teams in there. All right, go to the Big Ten. Big Ten, probably, everybody has Purdue as their, the best team in the league, in their conference. But, like I said, Illinois has been that team that I really, really liked all season long. Even though that Nebraska's pretty good, Michigan State, they're so-so, but Tom Izzo is going to be, politicking and, doing the Nick Saban thing to try to get his team in. So I still think that the Big Ten is still going to get 7 teams in. Maryland might not make it because Maryland's had a so-so season or so. All right. Conference USA, they'll probably get 2 teams in, but look out for Sam Houston. Sam Houston, I like them. They're pretty good. And like I said, they should get a couple teams in. The Ivy League. Now, Ivy League usually has a tournament, and they usually get 1 team in. But there's 3 teams. There's 3 teams that are really, really good in that division. You got Yale, you got Princeton, and you got Cornell. All 3 of these teams, could win that title. But I really think that, Princeton should win it. And like I said, I would like to see 3 teams from the Ivy, but you never know. All right. Last one is the Mountain West. Mountain West, Utah State is, you should win that, but Boise State is really good too. Now you gotta check this out. I like Boise State, and they had a really good win the other day, but I still think that, Utah State is going to be battling them and, basically win that division. But, you never know what happens. Now, like I said, there's going to be a lot of, upsets. There are going to be teams that are like the outright champions, and then they're going to get knocked off and stuff like that. So you might see some teams with like really, really bad losing records get into this thing. But this is what I like about March. The beginning of March is March Madness, and it always comes down to all these crazy shots. I've seen like maybe 4 or 5 buzzer beaters today. So like I said, this is the best time of the year to where you get to see, these college kids playing their hearts out, trying to get to the national championship game. Anyway, like today, Vanderbilt beat Florida. Now, Vanderbilt is not that great, but they beat Florida, So now, like I said, I'm going to go to the women's side. Women's side, there's no doubt. The 4 teams that should be in there, the 4 teams that should be the top seeds, should be Iowa, Caitlin Clark, Tennessee, Stanford, and South Carolina. South Carolina plays LSU later on tomorrow. I'm going to watch that at 3 o'clock, try to watch a little bit of that and see what, try to see that. And like I said, I'm probably going to watch a little bit of the Big Ten championship or their tournament, and definitely try to see a little bit of what Caitlin Clark is going to do. She's done so much this year and broken so many records. Like I said, the girl is the young lady. I'm sorry, the young lady is basically going to the next level, and she's going to take her talents up to the WNBA. And believe me, she is, like I said, spectacular with everything that she does. All right, so now there was a lot of stuff that's going on in sports right now, other than, like I said, the tournament and all. NBA is pretty good, you still got Boston, big teams like Boston and Denver and stuff like that. And they played the other night. Denver did win that, and they swept Boston. Even Boston has the best record in the league. I still think that the Nuggets are still going to be probably in the championship round, but I don't know. Boston, Jaylen Brown's been playing really, really good. But like I said, we'll see what happens in the NBA. There's stuff going on in football, but like I said, you know what? Since football ended, I'm going to try to keep that on the back burner a little bit because, hey, look, they take up so much of our time, and we have to definitely, try to get all these other sports in, like women's basketball, NBA, NCAA, baseball is getting ready to start up in a few. And, all this stuff is going on. We definitely have to take a look at all these other sports as well. But, Chris Jones from Kansas City signed that big contract. So he's going to be like a 5-year, $95 million, somewhere around in there. Russell Wilson is still homeless or doesn't have a team. But you know what? I really think that the Broncos did him wrong. Even though that, a lot of people, in the organization say that he wasn't a really, really great guy. They wanted to get rid of him. My thing is that, Sean Payton, from the beginning really didn't like him. But then again, Russ was, say he had an office and all that other stuff. But, you got to be very, he wanted to feel like, he was a Maserati when he's actually right now a Toyota. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens with Russ. He stopped in New York to check with the Giants. He stopped with Pittsburgh. He's going to be stopping, a few other places. But I tell you what, he's, going to be somewhere. We don't know where, So, Atlanta, Atlanta still might have a home for Justin Fields because we don't know what they're going to do. The Bears still don't know what they're going to do. And, the Bears haven't picked a, quarterback that was right since Jim McMahon, All right. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out there for the NFL. Like I said, everybody, we talk about the NFL all the time, have to mention it a little bit. But like I said, big stories and big stuff right now. All right. Last thing I want to get into is Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. I don't know. Boxing, to me, has been a spectacle for years. And this is what we come down to. Years ago, when I used to watch boxing, there was Riddick Bowe, there was, so many of the great champions, Lennox Lewis, Holyfield, Tyson, Klitschko brothers, all these things, all these guys were, boxing's main draw. But you know how boxing is. Boxing just died. There was a time where boxing was the number one sport in this country, believe it or not. Horse racing used to be really, really big too. So you had baseball, horse racing, and boxing. Those were your three biggest sports. But now, since we're in 2024, take a look at all three of those sports. Yeah. We only get excited for the Triple Crown when horse racing comes around. Baseball is still there, but, they have their problems. But boxing, I haven't really sat down and watched. I think I watched a boxing match like maybe about like 6 months ago or 8 months ago or something like that. Somebody was fighting and I just wanted to, check it out. But like I said, they don't have really, really good matchups anymore. There's nobody out there. But now we got this guy, Jake Paul. YouTube sensation or whatever. And now he's going out there fighting and, definitely going out there fighting and doing all this stuff and acting crazy or whatever. But, it seems like boxing now is like a spectacle where this guy, Jake Paul, can go on and knock out these tomato cans like Anderson Silva and Nate Robinson and all that stuff. It's a little bit of a draw. Mike Tyson haven't stepped in the ring since 2020. And the lock-in or something like that. But not lockdown or something, lockdown. So, that was a fight with Roy Jones Jr. But, it was a spectacle. It was a draw. But anyway. Mike Tyson is 58 years old. Mike Tyson is still the baddest man on the planet. Now, I met Mike Tyson one time. Yes, I did. This was 3 weeks before the fight he had against Buster Douglas. I was at a nightclub named Paradise years ago. The same night that Flavor Flav was messing around. He was a DJ up there. And, this was like the spot where, anybody that tried to get in there, they would get in there. You had a lot of people up in there. Some celebrities or so. But like I said, I was in there, jamming, just having a good time with all my buddies and everything. And, Mike Tyson walks by. I said, "What's up, champ?" He said, "Hey, what's up?" And that was it. He said, "Hey, what's up?" Anyway, that Mike Tyson voice. But I don't know if he had completed his training or whatever, but to see Mike Tyson in a bar 3 weeks before his biggest fight, it was kind of suspect, wasn't it? But anyway, we all know what happened. He went to Japan and got beat by Buster Douglas, and that was it. So, like I said, Mike Tyson is still, I don't care if he's 78. I still wouldn't try to fight Mike Tyson. This guy, Jake Paul, is really, really bold, and, like I said, he's had some fights where, it was like, so, whatever. I can't see this. But, they already said that they're going to have it in July or so like that, but, it's going to be on Netflix. And believe me, if it was a pay-per-view, I wouldn't buy it. Definitely wouldn't buy it. It's not really a big deal. But it's on Netflix. I have Netflix. It's free, more or less. Hey, I paid, $5, $12 or whatever it is. Anyway, so I am going to go ahead and watch the fight and just watch and see what kind of spectacle they have. Like I said, it's just not, it's not the old days. And believe me, I like the old days. I really do. I really like the fight game. Back in the day, around the 80s or so, Mike Tyson was the baddest thing on the planet. And you would be a damn fool to try to fight him because, he would lay people out like a light bulb or so. But like I said, now 2024, this is what we have to have now. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a good draw because pay-per-view, I think the last pay-per-view was like maybe it didn't draw that much or so. But I know that this pay-per-view, or actually this Netflix special, is going to get probably about like 5 or 6 million. I don't know. It's going to be a lot. A lot of people are going to tune in because they have Netflix and they're going to say, oh man, Mike Tyson's fighting. We got to watch this or so. But like I said, this Jake Paul is only, he's about like 20 or some odd years, or 20, 30 years older, younger than him or so. I don't know. But anyway, Mike Tyson. You're going to try to fight Mike Tyson. Well, that's your early dumb decision to do. Because believe me, like I said, I will not fight Mike Tyson on no circumstances. I mean, even if he was 98 and, still, having to wear a diaper or whatever, but he would probably get in that ring with those black shorts, black shoes, and that towel cut around his body. I ain't gonna mess with the dude, But Jake Paul, you smart. You take heed to the words that I tell you. But I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got for this week. And I will be back next week with episode 210 of the Guru Talking Sports Podcast. And like I said, hey, whatever you do, do it the right way and make sure that you get your thing straight the first time. Anyway, I don't want to give you a little bit. I want to tell you a little bit about my week. My week was really, really cool because I did a couple things. And, like I said, I really, really love my job. So that's one of the things. If you love your job, you'll never have to work again. Because, like I said, I love it. I love doing what I do. All right. All right, guys. So I will talk to you next week. And stay safe. We will see you next week with episode 210 of the Guru Talking Sports Podcast. You guys take care. I will talk to you soon. Later.